So a lot has been going on since I last posted. Um, Getting the hemiplegia under control and this fibromyalgia. You know, for the most part, what I see when people have fibromyalgia, it does have its flare-ups. I don't know for other people, but for me it seems when cold, wet, um, different weather patterns, when they change, um, the fibro tends to give a little bit of a challenge in working. This last week has been especially challenging, and I share this only because I know that other people with fibromyalgia share the similar issue. Um, the fact that movement is so very important with fibromyalgia. It hurts to move, but you have to move to live, right? Now, something that I do recall talking with this friend that I have met last month in September, the very end, part of the university that I go to, that studies on these different things, we both agreed that movement as a whole seems like a challenge. I mean, for some, for everyday person, going out for a walk is no big deal, along with housework, along with getting functioning in life. It's no big deal. But when you have fibromyalgia, all of a sudden, all of that just adds up. Simply going to the bathroom. Get up, walk to the bathroom, and go back and sit down. Cooking. Getting up, cooking, standing, cooking. Now, I have some little tips and tricks on these little pieces, okay? One is with cooking, and this was also recommended by caregivers alike, is that using a chair, a step stool, something to sit on while cooking. Is it a pain? Yes. Does it work? Yes, it does. Because the goal is to be able to live a low to no pain life with fibromyalgia. And it's a challenge. I mean, going to work on top of general basic everyday household work, that's a challenge. I mean, huge. So what is suggested is to think about the everyday tasks. Laundry. Getting up and picking up the laundry and taking it to the laundry room. Sometimes it's easier just to leave it in the laundry room and call it a day, and just when it adds up, do a load. If you have that luxury of being able to do that, it's highly recommended just to leave it at the laundry room, and when it adds up, do a load. Call it a day. And make one day for laundry, 1 or 2 loads. And really and truly with fibromyalgia, that's a lot. Just one day of doing that and then sitting and doing something else. That is quite a bit for somebody with fibromyalgia. That, and then add on cooking, cleaning a little bit. Now, something that I found very interesting, and I may just write to Swiffer about this, because Swiffer is noted for their cleaning products, okay? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is there's a commercial about Swiffer. Who has 1 to 2 hours a week to clean? I mean, even the everyday person struggles with it. Forget somebody with fibromyalgia. It's not going to happen. But 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, those Swiffer things, just wipe it down real quick like, or vacuum it up real quick like, and be done. And this came really out to me last night when we lost power. we've been having winds and rain, which we desperately need. I mean, it's October and we've hardly had any rainfall, which is like unheard of. I hear a lot of people say climate change, and I don't know if we call it climate change, but it's definite change. If it keeps continuing like this, then I can give it that word, you know. I'm really, I want to say optimistic, or maybe it's pessimistic about this climate change thing. But basically to say that we've had summer-like weather in the middle of fall. That's just unheard of. But on the positive side, the fibro flares have been down to a minimum. Because for me, with the heat, it goes down, the flares. Now, for some, they do better in the cold. And I say that's great. For those who have the fibro with the cold and it's better, you have to listen to your body, because cold might be better for one few people and hot for the other. Now, I do know that a majority of people with fibromyalgia, heat is their best friend. There's a smaller percentage where cold is. So basically today, what I'm clarifying is that doing indoor tasks, cooking, cleaning, laundry, basics, making of the bed, picking up your stuff, it can all add up. And for somebody who's used to doing it on a regular basis, no big deal. And those who don't have fibromyalgia, this seems like it's petty stuff. You know, it's duh, you do it every day, right? Just a little bit here and there. Not with fibromyalgia. You have to gradually. It's very gradual, and it's throughout the day. Now, that might be a little bit of cooking. That might be a little bit of cleaning. That might be a little bit of laundry and maintenance. Now, my whole point here is that pain and fibromyalgia is very real. What makes it more challenging that I've discovered is that there are underlying issues called autoimmune. And right now, I am being reviewed for an autoimmune. And my words are, it's about time. Because, see, through my studies, and I know in a previous video I made a mark about this, is that in all fibromyalgia cases, I have not found one where they don't have an autoimmune underlying condition. It's just what it is. The thing is that the autoimmune disorder is so quiet that fibromyalgia is found first. And fibromyalgia is typically brought on by stresses, triggers, and those stresses and triggers can be internal or they can be external. They can be internal, physical, emotional, environmental stresses, all of it. I mean, internal and external. It can be medications that you take and not even be aware that you're putting your body into like massive overload. Being aware of your body and your reaction to different things, making note of it, journaling of all sorts, keeping track of those pains and when they happen, can not only help you, but they can also help the doctors to find out what exactly is going on underneath. You can also track when is the best time of day. Maybe it's little spurts here and there. Figuring out how to function on a daily basis. So something that hit me in the last week is that 40 days of sharing different ideas that you can do with fibromyalgia, and you can do these things for pleasure or for profit. There was a magazine back in the day that went through the mail that was all about pleasure and profit creations. So I have a theory or a thought rather, of doing 40 days sharing of different ideas to improve in life and to be able to sell at the same time or to give away as gifts. After that, I'm looking at doing 12 days of Christmas. Now, I did a research study on that, and 12 days of Christmas actually starts on the 25th of December and goes into January. And some celebrations, that's when all the festivities really get going. I've seen this happen in other cultures, just not in the US. Very common. It does happen, just very rarely. So I'm thinking about doing that, and I would love your input on it. There's a lot of people who do print on demand. I do have some things that are print on demand available, like journals. I'm getting ready to create some t-shirts. I'm looking at creating a boutique specifically geared towards encouragement and uplift in regards to fibromyalgia and life in general, based in faith, hope, and love. Now, some of you might get turned off by it, and it is what it is, but I'm not all that big on drugs, if you can understand that. I'm also not that big on a lot of recreational stuff. Now, I do know that some people do find the recreational stuff as helpful. I'm not going to say boo or anything. I just can't be around it because it actually triggers migraines for me. And some others might find that it triggers migraines for them, or they might find that it helps them. And I'm not familiar with all of the recreational stuff that's out there and available. I know a few of them. I don't care to go into them simply because I don't really want to know, because I can tell when the things hit me, how they do, how they react to me. I would rather not know and find something that, oh wow, this really does help. And say, oh, this is recreational, and then be able to share with you. As of right now, though, I have not found recreational that really helps me. It actually causes more problems. So there you go. Do I take any medications for the fibromyalgia? Yes, I do. I'm not going to deny it. They are pharmacology. They are prescribed by a doctor. Most of them. There is one that isn't, but it's a vitamin, and it's not for the fibromyalgia, although I think that it does help with it. And it's actually a vitamin that you can get on Amazon. I mean, it's that simple. I stopped getting it from the direct pharmacy, or the it's a pharmacology. It's not prescription, but they consider themselves like a naturopathic holistic pharmacy, and they have everything under the sun. I might just share with you on one of those times that I'm doing this plan of the 40 days just to help you out. Because I'm not going to say no to anything. I'm going to say that it's possible. People have talked about all sorts of holistic natural remedies. I know they've talked about zinc and talked about a few others. I think like ginkgo and stuff like that. But you have to be careful because some of that can actually cause bad side effects to other parts of your body. So you always have to check with the doctor to make sure that you do the right thing and don't mess up your body. That's the whole point of it. So to close this, I'm just going to share with you that I realized that with the winds and with the weather that my body has gotten mad at me. I don't know if it's fibromyalgia or if it's autoimmune. I'm really in a quandary right now. The hemiplegia is causing some challenges, and I'm not sure if it's causing triggers to the fibromyalgia or fibromyalgia to that. And would love your input on doing a 40-day ideas for keeping things busy in life rather than focusing on work, or maybe you can turn it into a job. Anyhow, until next time, talk to you later.